The Amazing Spider-Man, issue number 23, The Goblin and the Gangsters. Everyone enjoys a fast-moving cops and robbers story, and when you throw in a costumed superhero, a colorful supervillain, and the marvelous Marvel Manor, it's got to be good. Want proof? Just take a look.
You must be nuts, Goblin. I ain't letting you or anyone else take over my gang. Now hit the road, mister, while you still can. Dig that corny costume, will ya?
But under my leadership, we could take over every racket in the city.
Look, no one muscles in on Lucky Lobo's mob, see? Now to prove I ain't kidding, my boys will just throw you out. Get 'em. It'll be a pleasure, Lucky.
But you forgot one thing. The pleasure will be all mine.
Oh.
I'd better leave now before some of you hurt yourselves. After all, when I take over, I'll want you in good condition to work for me. Think it over, Lucky. Next time I visit you, I won't let you off so easy.
Look, it's the Green Goblin. Seconds later, accompanied by a reporter, the police officer enters the office of Lucky Lobo.
I saw the Goblin fly out of your window, Lucky. What's coming off here? Nothing. We're clean, see? We got rid of them.
Looks like there was a fight here. What a story. Green Goblin raids mobsters.
We'll get you yet, Lucky. You'll slip up sooner or later. Me? I'm innocent as a newborn babe.
It's getting too hot in town, Lucky. The cops keep watching us like hawks.
It's on account of the Goblin. He's trying to cut me out so we can take over.
So far, so good. But now I've got to speed up my plan. I'm too impatient to wait any longer. Taking over Lucky Lobo's gang is only the first step. After that, all the mobs in the city will fall into line. I'll control the entire underworld. The Green Goblin, king of crime. I like that. It has a nice ring to it, and it'll happen sooner than anyone suspects.
But now, let us briefly turn away from such sordid matters and visit the quiet suburban home of Peter Parker the next morning, where we find...
I'm sure glad it's Saturday. It's a pleasure to sleep late. I'll wash up now and then go down for breakfast. I can smell the bacon frying. While Aunt May's in the kitchen, I'll slip my Spider-Man duds on under my clothes. I washed my costume last night while she was asleep. It ought to be dry by now. Good thing we have an attic where I can hide these things without Aunt May finding them. Darn it, it's still wet. I'll have to leave it for a while. Too bad I can't just go into a store and ask for a wash and wear Spidey outfit. Oh well, I probably won't be needing it this morning. It should be safe there. Aunt May hardly ever comes up here, and even if she does, it's hidden there in the shadows.
Good morning, Peter, dear. Oh, you're dressed to go out?
Yes, Aunt May. I'm going to the library to do some studying. I don't want to take any chances of missing out on that science scholarship for State U.
Remember, Peter, I don't like you staying out too late. If you'll be delayed, be sure to call me, not like last time.
Sure, Aunt May. Don't worry.
Then, buying a newspaper on his way to the library, Peter is surprised to read...
Green Goblin raids Racket's boss. What gives? Is he trying to become a hero?
Curious about the news item, Peter decides to stop at the Daily Bugle on his way to the library.
Betty's not at her desk. Boy, Jonah Jameson sure has everyone jumping today. Here's a letter on Betty's desk, from Europe, marked personal. I wonder who she knows in Europe. Well, I guess it's none of my business.
But before putting it down, Peter can't help noticing...
It's from Ned Leeds, the reporter who used to date Betty a few months ago. I thought things were all over with them. That man talking to Jonah. I've seen him before.
You mean you'll let me have a job here again? As a reporter?
Sure, I guess I'm just soft-hearted. Now I remember, it's Frederick Foswell, the big man. He must be out of jail now. What made you hire him back again, Mr. Jameson? Because I believe in forgiveness, charity, and brotherly love. And besides, it'll be good for my public relations. It'll build up my image as a lovable do-gooder. The old phony. His smile's as warm and friendly as a rattlesnake. Now then, Parker, what are you doing here? Did you bring me any exciting exclusive news photos? Afraid not, Mr. Jameson. I just dropped by to see Betty Brant. You did you? What'd you think this is, a Lonely Hearts Club? I haven't time to waste talking to every fool teenager who comes in off the street. At least I now know he's the real J. Jonah Jameson. Oh, there's Betty now. Hi, Bet. How about a movie tonight?
Sorry, Peter. I'll probably have to work late because of our extra additions about the Green Goblin.
Oh, that's too bad. Why doesn't she mention that letter from Ned Leeds? Anything else new lately?
What? No. I guess I must lead a rather dull life, Peter.
I know Ned also. You'd think she'd have mentioned hearing from him. Perhaps there's more between them than I thought. Okay, Bets. I'll check with you later.
So long, Peter. Oh dear, I forgot to tell him about Ned's letter. Well, it's too late now. I'll mention it to him some other time.
Meanwhile, as Pete leaves the building,
There's Foswell, acting real chummy with a shady-looking character. He might just be on the trail of a story. And then again, it could be something more than that. Before his arrest as the big man, Foswell was the kingpin of the rackets. He could be planning to take over again. Spider-Man better follow him.
but quickly reaching the privacy of a nearby alley, the amazing teenager finds...
Blast it! I forgot. I left my costume at home to dry, and I can't take the chance of giving away my identity by going into action as Peter Parker. So, a golden opportunity wasted because of a wet costume.
However, nice and comfy in his snug-fitting dry costume, the Green Goblin is wasting no time at all.
I got here as soon as I could. Do you have it?
Yeah, Lucky doesn't suspect a thing. I'd be kaput if he knew I was double-crossing him. Here's a complete list of the dough he made from the joints he owns. If the Income Tax Bureau ever sees this, they'll jail him for life.
Ah, just what I want. When I take over his mob, I'll remember your services, my friend. Perfect. Now I must make sure this list is made public, and I know just the way to do it.
Later, at the Swank Midtown Business Executives Club, we find...
That was a mighty generous thing you did, Jameson, hiring back that ex-convict, Foswell. You know me, Merryweather. I didn't get my reputation as a warm-hearted, generous, good Samaritan for nothing.
I'm sorry to interrupt, Mr. Jameson, but one of your employees is here to see you. He says it's the most important, sir.
Decisions. They can't get along without me. All right, don't just stand there. Tell him I'll be right out. You? How dare you disturb me here, Foswell?
I thought you'd want to see this right away, Mr. Jameson. I got it from a stoolie, a complete list of Lucky Lobo's secret finances. I did this to prove to you that I'm on the up and up now. This info is enough to put Lucky out of circulation for good.
Quick, let me see it. Good work, Foswell. A scoop like this will put my paper on the map, and it'll cement my reputation as a crusading, public-spirited citizen.
I thought you'd like it.
A short time later, at police headquarters.
The information you've given us about Lucky Lobo is just what we need to bring him into trial. You've been a great help, Mr. Jameson. Rumph. I just did what any brave, upstanding citizen would do, gentlemen.
So far, so good. Everything is going exactly as I planned. But this is only the beginning.
Alert the Special Forces Squad. Follow Operation R for raid. I want every one of the places on that list closed up and all the financial records impounded. If the mayor decides to give me a citation at City Hall, I'll try to be my usual modest self. I wouldn't want people to think my success is going to my head.
And now, back to Peter Parker again.
My costume's dry at last. I did a pretty good job on it. It's real clean and sweet smelling. Gee, I'm beginning to sound like a guy in a TV soap commercial. Ah, this is the life. Now I feel like $1 million. And between the Green Goblin, Frederick Foswell, and Lucky Lobo's mob, there should be plenty of fun and games ahead of me tonight.
Then, before very long, the sounds of wailing sirens attract our friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
Speeding police cars. Something must be up. I'd better follow. It's a raid. Maybe I can get some good photos to sell to Jameson. Uh-oh, those jokers are trying to make a getaway through that concealed emergency exit. It's like a scene from The Untouchables. But instead of Elliot and Ness, they'll have that lovable old web spinner to waltz around with. I'm really gonna enjoy this.
But before the eager teenager can leap into action, another costumed figure whizzes by, stopping the getaway car in its tracks.
I can't let them escape. I want them caught, so that they'll ride on lucky when the police start questioning them. Ha! Bullseye.
Green Goblin beat me to the punch. I don't get it. What would make a character like him suddenly start helping the police? Well, there's only one way to find out. It's time for Follow the Leader again, and ready or not, here I come.
But the wily Goblin, ever alert, glimpses the graceful, fast-moving figure who flits across the rooftops behind him.
This is really my lucky day. Spider-Man himself is following me. It shouldn't be difficult for me to get the bumbling costumed fool to do my dirty work for me. I'll just lead him to Lucky Lobo's headquarters. Then I'll duck out. I'll give Spider-Man and Lucky a chance to eliminate each other before I return to gather up the spoils.
And, a short distance away, the gang leader barks frenzied orders to his lieutenants.
We've got to lay low, pull in our horns. We'll close down all our gambling joints. Hello, Charlie? Tell the boys to burn all our records. Nobody talks to nobody. I'll beat this rap yet.
But no sooner does Lucky hang up the phone when...
Ready to turn over leadership of your mob to me yet, Lucky?
The Goblin. He's been warned. Let him have it.
Alas, my friend, you can't let me have it when you haven't got it.
Look out. He's shooting some kind of gas at us. It's not gas, you fool. It's just smoke to confuse us. Turn on the air conditioner, quick. Don't let him get away. I can't see. Where's the blamed switch?
But before the smoke can clear, another colorful figure makes a neighborly call.
If the Goblin really is on the level, I can't let him tackle a whole mob by himself. Besides, why should he have all the fun?
Look, someone else just swung in through the window.
Oh no, it's Spider-Man.
Finally, when all the smoke has cleared.
Don't just stand there. Rush him.
This is one for the books. I come charging in to help the Goblin, but he ducks out, leaving me to face Lucky's muscle men by myself. Oh well, live and learn.
We'll all tackle him at once. After we polish him off, we'll claim it was self-defense.
That's it, you unsuspecting fools. Fight. Fight to the finish. When you're done, the Green Goblin will be the real winner.
I'll be happy to oblige you, gents, but let's put those blasters away. After all, you wouldn't want to disturb your neighbors, would you?
Look out for his webbing.
Too late. Come on, we don't need our rods. We can...
Sorry to interrupt, chum, but it makes me nervous to have people talking behind my back. It's getting kind of stuffy down there. Why not join me up here where there's more room?
Grab him, Mike.
How silly of me. I forgot that you fellas aren't able to swing on the ceiling. What a pity. I wish you boys would be more careful. You're liable to skin my knuckles with those hard chins of yours. This seems like a good time to try a new little stunt. I'll just drop some sticky webbing on your jacket. Don't worry, it won't stain the fabric. And then I just gently place you against the wall and presto, instant wallpaper. And for the rest of you, you shouldn't have stepped on that gooey webbing which I left on the floor. But don't worry, it'll wear off in time for you to go to jail. Uh-oh, my trusty little spider sense is warning of danger behind me. A shot! I ducked away just in time.
You're fast, Spider-Man, but not fast enough.
Really? Gee, I'm glad you told me. Perhaps I ought to eat more Wheaties for breakfast.
Where'd he go?
Thanks, boys. It's been a real fun session. I had a few laughs, but I still don't know what the Goblin's game is. This'll hold them off while I tend to something else now.
And on the other side of the door.
He trapped himself. There's no other way out of that room.
But Spidey isn't seeking a way out. Instead...
A telephone. Just what I need. Hi, Aunt May. This is Peter. You wanted me to call you if I'd be late for dinner, remember? Well, it looks as though I might be a little bit delayed.
I'm so glad you didn't forget to call. Now I won't put the potatoes in the oven yet. Are you dressed warmly, dear? It's getting a bit colder out now.
Sure, I'm fine. I'm real warm and snug right now. Don't you worry about me, you hear? Well, I have to hang up now. I think someone else might want to use the phone.
A dear boy, no matter what he's doing, he hardly ever forgets to call his Aunt May. If only he didn't study so hard. I hope he gets enough exercise.
Meanwhile, back at Lucky Lobo's, it seems that Aunt May is going to get her wish in spades.
Now we've got him.
Come in, gents. I've been expecting you.
Got your arms raised, eh? So you decided to give up.
Alright, put 'em down real slow. No tricks now. I knew they wouldn't think to look at the ceiling where my webbing is suspended. It'll fall any second.
What are you waiting for? Nobody outside can hear any shots from in here.
Hey, what's going on? Something's falling on us. Look out!
It was a trap. He had his webbing over us on the ceiling. Duck, don't let it stick to you. Too late. Here it comes. It trapped the others, but I'm still in the clear. Stay back, Spider-Man, I'm warning you.
You're warning me? That's like Mickey Mouse warning King Kong.
Wait, stop, don't. Let's make a deal. I'd rather team up with you than the Goblin.
What do you mean? Talk, Lobo.
You mean you don't know? You don't know the reason I've been fighting the Goblin?
The papers say he's trying to help the police to get the goods on you.
Sure he is, but only because he wants to take over my mob. With me out of the way, he figures he can be the boss of the underworld.
So that's what it is, eh? That's pretty clever of him. The papers write him up like a hero. The police think he's helping them. And he even fooled me, while all he really wants is to take over the rackets himself.
At that moment, the sound of wailing sirens again fills the air, and...
Now that's what I call timing. Here come the police, just when I'm through with you.
Wait, come back. What about my alpha? It'll be you and me.
Please, I just ate. If I know the Goblin, he's still nearby, wanting to see the outcome. Ah, I was right. There he is. Someone else can pull your chestnuts out from the fire from now on, Gobby. I'm on to you now. And this time, you're not getting away.
Stop kidding yourself, mister. You're not even in my league. Woof.
That, you green-garbed goon, remains to be seen.
Get off, you fool. We'll be killed. My jet glider can't hold the additional weight. We're falling.
I've got news for you, son. I planned it this way. I just wanted to get you down through the skylight before you managed to escape me. And now... I'll hop off and give you a chance to save yourself, but don't count on taking any long trips, funny man.
I won't, unless it's to visit you at the hospital. Which is where you'll be after one of these little concussion bombs finds their mark.
But when you add spider speed to spider strength, you get a combination that just can't be stopped without a miracle.
You shouldn't have warned me, Gobby. Us economy-sized Spider-Man don't make easy targets. Or have you already noticed that?
Blast you. You talk so much, you get me all confused.
How about that? I've got a new weapon I didn't even know about. My spider speech.
Ha! Didn't think I can maneuver out of your path so fast, did you?
Now that you mention it, I hadn't given it much thought.
After today, you'll never again interfere in any of my plans.
Why? Did you decide to go straight?
No, I decided to finish you for good.
Well, you won't do it that way. Boy, the way you go around wasting those little bombs of yours, you must get them wholesale. Here, let me do the honors for a while.
Good. I was hoping you'd do that. I've always wanted to trap you with your own overrated webbing. You made the biggest mistake of your life when you decided to battle the Green Goblin again.
Boy, and you said I gab a lot. I think you're trying to beat me by talking me to death.
Here, this will stop you from... blast it. If you only stay still long enough for one of my little trinkets to hit you.
I don't know your real identity, Gobby, but I know one thing. You sure aren't an ex-big league baseball pitcher.
No one will ever know my true identity unless I choose to reveal it. I've been too careless. I used up my whole bag of tricks. I can't fight him now. I've got to escape.
This is my chance. Oh no! I'm all out of web fluid.
Farewell, my earthbound friend. We'll meet again another day.
This day isn't over yet, mister. One do-or-die leap might still get me to him. Up, now! I'll ricochet against that building and, if my luck holds out...
He's still after me? What does he do? Walk on air? Nice try, my foolhardy friend, but you forgot that I can always apply an extra burst of speed to my jet glider.
I missed, and no fluid left to make an emergency shoot for me. If I can just grab that billboard light, It's too thin. It snapped off. But it broke my fall enough to let me swing around that flagpole. And now, if I time this just right, I'll be able to spin myself right around it and up to the roof. Alley-oop. I gave it too much oomph. I'm overshooting the mark. If I can just grasp that water tower, it's my last chance. I mustn't miss... I got it. Whew, boy. A guy's gotta be a mental case to volunteer for this kind of work.
Meanwhile, the Green Goblin reaches his hideout a few minutes later.
That Spider-Man has more lives than a cat, but I'll get him sooner or later. Well, I can't worry about him. Right now, I've got to find out if Lucky Lobo has been caught yet. With him out of the way, I'll have no trouble taking over his gang.
Then, when the hourly news program is broadcast.
In one of the biggest hauls of the entire year, the police have arrested the entire Lucky Lobo gang, acting on an anonymous tip that they...
The entire gang? Then it was all a waste. I was too successful. If the whole gang is in jail, I've nothing to take over. I'm no better off than I was.
Meanwhile...
Nothing more I can do as Spider-Man for a while. I'd better change back to Peter Parker again. And perhaps I'd better give Aunt May another ring. I still want to stop at Jameson's office before going home. A busy signal. I guess she's talking to a neighbor. Well, I'll call later.
Then, reaching the office of J. Jonah Jameson, Peter overhears...
Your information was helpful to the police, Foswell. It looks as though Lucky Lobo will be behind bars for a long, long time. Just wanted you to know.
I'm glad, Mr. Jameson. Foswell's tip was responsible for the police getting the goods on Lucky. And the Goblin wanted Lucky out of the way. Is there some connection between the two of them? Foswell's a lot smarter than he seems. In fact, he might be a threat to my secret Spider-Man identity. If he ever suspected that the pictures I sell to Jonah are really taken by Spidey, I'd better be extra careful from now on.
Oh, are you here again? It's about time you brought me some photos, Parker. I don't keep you around because I like your looks. Do you have any for me?
No, Mr. Jameson. I've been kind of busy lately.
Goblins flying all around town. Lucky Lobo and his mob were just caught and were awaiting trial. It's been the biggest week for crime news in months. But you're too busy to take any pictures.
I never looked at it that way before.
Too bad you disappointed him about those pictures, Peter.
Well, lots of people disappoint other people, Betty.
What do you mean by that?
Oh, nothing. Skip it.
Miss Brandt, have you nothing better to do than talk to that has-been photographer? We still have a newspaper to publish around here.
Oh, yes sir, Mr. Jameson. I'll be right there.
I've got to go anyway.
When will you call me, Peter?
Soon as I get a chance. She still hasn't mentioned that letter from Ned Leeds. There's Foswell, waiting outside the building again. What am I so jumpy about? Why do I get nervous every time I see him? I hope Aunt May wasn't worried about me. I thought I'd get home earlier. I'm home, Aunt May, and I'm hungry as a bear. It always makes her happy when I'm hungry. She loves to see me eat. I wonder where she is. She wasn't downstairs. Maybe she's lying down. I hope she doesn't feel ill. Aunt May, are you here? Not a sign of her.
But then, minutes later, to Pete's relief.
Hello, Peter, dear. Didn't you see my note? I left a TV dinner for you in the refrigerator. I went next door to Mrs. Watson's for a visit. Do you feel all right, dear? You look a bit peaked.
Oh, no, I'm fine, Aunt May. Just fine.
But then, in the privacy of his room, as the evening shadows lengthen,
What's come over me? Why am I so edgy? My school grades are still tops in the class. Aunt May has been feeling fit as a fiddle. Betty probably just forgot to mention Leeds' letter. I would have beaten the goblin if I hadn't run out of web fluid. And yet, I have a strange feeling. A feeling of foreboding. As though some terrible danger is waiting. Just around the corner.
or Peter Parker. Even though there's nothing to worry about, he worries about that. But this time, his fears may be justified. For the future does hold many grim dangers and startling surprises for him, and you'll share them with him beginning next issue. So until then, face front, and don't wear your costume until it's good and dry.
Spider-Man, Spider-Man, does whatever a spider can. Spins a web any size, catches thieves just like flies. Look out, here comes Spider-Man.